Hello to everyone. Nice to be here with you. Nice to I'm glad that I'm able to record this speaking practice video today. To be honest, I don't really want to do it right now. I I've I've just woke up and I feel myself a little dizzy or a little dozy. Yeah, not dizzy but rather dozy. Though I understand that no matter what, it's really important to practice speaking English because there is one quote, or let's say the statement that we, yes, there is the statement with which nobody can argue, or the statement is so much true that nobody can say that this is wrong in any way. And the statement sounds like, if you want to speak English, you need to speak English. Or if you want to speak English, if you want to be able to speak, or if you want being able to speak English or any other language, you need to speak. Yeah, you need to speak in this language, and there is no other way how you can maintain or enhance your speaking abilities. The only way is a practical way of exercising speaking. And that's why I'm recording this speaking practice video, despite of the fact that probably I don't feel like I really I really want to do it. But still, I have motivation, I have discipline, and it will help me to do it. And that's actually why I'm already doing it. Yeah, because I have motivation and I have discipline, and not motivation like um, I need to do it because I say so, or I need to do it because somebody said me to do it. No, it's not like that. My motivation comes from my um, inner desire to being able to use English sufficiently as a tool. What I mean? I mean that for my future work, I decided for myself that I will be able to speak English on adequate, sufficient level. I'm not talking right now about fluency or advanced levels of English. I'm talking about simple, effective, and clear using. Yes, I'm talking about simple, clear, effective using of language. This is what I want. And this is what I decided for myself, that no matter what, I will do what I need to do, and this will help me to achieve what I want to achieve. No other way, yeah. So my motivation, it's not about emotions. My motivations comes from the reason, yeah. I know that only by exercising speaking, I will be able to speak properly, or properly and clearly and understandably. So that's why I'm doing exercising right now. Very simple, very plain reason, very straightforward, plain reason, very straightforward reason explanation for myself, and it helps. It helps. For instance, right now I understand that probably I don't feel like speaking English right now, but I understand why I need to do it. Yeah, I don't feel like, but I understand why I need to do it. Not have to. Nobody pushing myself to do it. Nobody pushing me to do it. Yeah, I do it because I understand for myself that this is important and this is the thing that needs to be done. Okay, I think it was a good warm up, and we can move straightforwardly to answer on questions from Chat GPT. And what I want to remind, no, what I want to say before it, that if you also study English, if you also feel yourself, let's say, a little bit unsure if you're ready or not to speak with a real person, yeah, you can always practice with ChatGPT in very simple manner. You just ask ChatGPT to give you from 10 to 20 as you feel questions or topics, basically questions. You set up the level of questions that you need. I mean, if you are a beginner, A2; if you are more advanced, B1; if you feel yourself confident, you won't try B2 to C1. So you setting up the difficulty and the amount of the questions, and you also can set up the topics on which you want to practice answering. And ChatGPT will provide you with questions, and you will be practicing English at home without a partner and without a teacher, which actually is money saving solution and time saving solution. Because, for instance, when you have a speaking partner, you need to negotiate, you need to decide the proper time for both of you, and not always both of you have the same amount of discipline on or the same amount of free time to execute the practice frequently. And the speaking practice is a thing that's better to be executed frequently for a long, long period of time. I mean, not months, but years. But yes, not months, but years. And in order to be a bit independent, in order to be a little bit more secure in this practice, it's much more confident and convenient. Probably less affected, but more confident and convenient for maintaining is to do it by yourself with ChatGPT. Yeah, when you only kinda when you planning and setting up only for yourself, it's much more easier to keep this as a habit um, frequently. Yeah, this is my advice. Why you might listen to my advice, because I have a proof. I started with these speaking practice videos, and I've been practicing almost for, not yet, but soon it will be 3 years of practice, and um, you can hear how my ability to speak changed. I gain more confidence. I gain better pronunciation. Of course, I still do a lot of mistakes. Of course, I still have grammar, have gaps in knowledge in grammar. Sometimes I build the sentences probably not in a way how native would do it. But still, I've already tried to speak with other persons who speaks English, and they understand me. They understand me. They are telling me that, of course, you have an accent, but overall, it's understandable what you're talking about, and this actually is the goal. Yeah, you need to be able to use English freely as a tool. Yeah, this is a language, and language is for communicating with other people. If you can communicate, and if you can be clear and understandable, um, it's already sufficient. Yeah, of course, of course. There is kind of always a way or always a, a stage. Uh, no, there is always a space and opportunity to improve your language skills. Yeah. Actually, in my opinion, in language learning, there is no, how we call it, ground floor. There is a floor and there is 1 minute. I forget this very basic word. Ceiling. Yeah, ceiling. There is no ceiling in the language learning. You will be always new. You will be always learn new construction, new grammar rules, new words. Your vocabulary will be improving during the time. So there is no ceiling in the English learning, and that's why you shouldn't be ashamed. You shouldn't. Yeah, basically, you shouldn't be ashamed. You shouldn't feel insecure about doing mistakes during the speaking. You shouldn't be insecure about this. You shouldn't be insecure about your skill, basically, in language learning, because in languages, because it's difficult. The people who learn different languages, they understand that this why it's difficult. They understand that this is difficult, and people at least with some ability to think in their head will understand you, never gonna make fun of you, and will basically respect you. Will basically have more respect to you because everyone with everyone every smart adequate person in the world understands that English language learning is difficult, and they usually only pay you the respect if they see that you are doing it, if they see that you are putting efforts in it in order to improve your skill. Okay, so what I've been talking about is that it's very important to understand that you are, at least if you are not going to work as a teacher, yeah, as a language teacher, if you are not going to work as an English teacher, English for you or any other language for you is a tool for communication. Yeah, you need just to be able to be clear and understandable during writing and during speaking. And the second point is that you shouldn't be insecure about doing mistakes, about mispronouncing or build sentences, probably a little bit different from a native speaker. Why? Because I explained why, and basically there is no other way for you to learn. The only way for you to learn is to practice, is to do mistake, and especially in language learning, and every other person who ever tried to learn something, especially languages, understand it very well that uh, different language is so complex to learn that even after the 10 years of studying, you will do mistake. You will continue do mistakes. You will continue have some things mispronounced because that's how it works. Yeah. As a matter of fact that you spend so much time in different language. As a matter of fact that you able to use it freely and be clear and understandable, it's already deserves a lot of respect from people who are tend to think, who are people for people who are not arrogant, basically, yeah. And in my opinion, you should you should pay attention only to opinion of the people who are not arrogant and who are doing the same amount of efforts as you, who are studying something. Yeah, because they understand you and never gonna have fun, in my opinion at least. In most cases, they're never gonna make fun of your accent or your mistakes that you're making, because they simply adequate, not arrogant people, and they respect the efforts. Okay, it was a good warm up. It was a good for talk, and right now, let's just move to the chat GPT, and we'll practice English. Basically, that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm today here, and that's why I'm recording the speaking practice video to practice English. And let's do it. Question number 1. Why do some people prefer physical books while others prefer reading on screens? In my opinion, it's a question about comfort. Yeah, which way is more comfortable for the person to you? Which way is more comfortable for the person uh, to use the information? Yeah, or to learn. Yeah, basically to use the information. If it's more comfortable for you for, I don't know, for some subject to use physical books, or if it's more comfortable for you to learn with physical books, you use physical books. If it's more comfortable for you to learn by reading on digital screen, you use digital screens, or rather, you use what you have to. Yeah, basically, in the meaning that if you have physical books, you use physical books. If you have screens, you use screen. If you have ebook, if you have electronical books, use electronical books. Doesn't matter really. Yeah, it's sometimes you have a choice, sometimes you have only one source of information. So it depends on how much sources of information you have, and second one is what you prefer more. For instance, I would say I would talk about my own experience as an instance. I don't really have much access to physical books right now, so for me, it's the only way to study something is use digital books, and I kinda don't know. I kinda not say that I tend to use it, but mm, I gain comfort, or how we call it. I became accustomed to a comfort. No, yeah. Oh, so many ways of expressing your thoughts. Let's say that I gain comfort. Yeah, I accustomed myself to use the digital books, yeah, to read them from a computer or from electronic book that I have, and it's comfortable. It's comfortable. Why I use this? Because I said that I don't have access to the physical books in the most cases. So I use the information that I have, and it's comfortable, and that's why I'm using it. I think. Mm, I think people in general, yeah, tend to think about it and decide in this manner, as I do. You use what you have, and if you have the choice, you choose what is more comfortable for you. But from my experiences, as I said, for me, it's much more comfortable to use to read from digital screens. Yeah. Okay. Probably I could explain why it's more comfortable for me to use digital screens. Saves the fact that this is the only um, source of information that I have right now. But there is also, I think, more convenient things like you can adjust the light. So if you are studying at the uni, you don't need to, look for a second source of lighting. Yeah, you just you can adjust brightness, yeah, on your screen, and adjust it for comfortable reading, for instance. And the other advantage is that usually it's quite I mean, if you will compare regular book and pocketbook much more compact, much more mm, usable in a way that if you want to, let's say, if you want to read 10 physical books, you need to have 10 physical books, which takes a lot of place. You need to store this book somewhere, and if you want to move somewhere, you need to carry these books with you, which is a lot of weight. But with a pocketbook, you can have 100 million books simply in one very compact, comfortable pocketbook. Yeah, so it's kind of much more comfortable to use and carry with you. Okay, I think I answered on this question, and let's move to the next. How has the meaning of being well educated changed in the modern world? How has the meaning of being well educated changed in the modern world? I think being well educated in the modern world means just at first have education. It's kind of unnegotiable thing. The second is to being able to use this education. What I mean, you studying to get a profession, yeah? You studying to get a proficiency. Not only gather the information about the world, but of course there is also a reason. So while you studying, you gather information about the world in general, and also you studying your future profession particularly. And being well educated is, I think, is have a lot of information in your head about the world, understand the processes, how the world works, and being qualified in your profession. So you not only you not only understand a lot, you also can provide a lot, yeah, by your skill. And this for me is, at least in my opinion, this is what means to be well educated. Is to have, sorry, I'm gonna repeat myself, is to have good general understanding of the world, and also being quite skillful in your profession. This is what it means for me. The question number 3. Do you think countries should do more to protect regional traditions and local dialects? Why or why not? Do you think countries should do more to protect regional traditions and local dialects? Why or why not? I think what countries should do is not to invade other countries in order to subdue and consume them. This is what countries shouldn't do. They shouldn't start wars. But in general, if let's say if you are living in a origin country, like the country is not, which is not an empire, the country which is kind of um, origin from origin source, like for example Poland or Sweden or England, yeah. the type of country which kind of was built on cultural and national origin. Japan as well, yeah. And this country maintains its own borders, its own culture, and there is no need to kind of protect or, I don't know, invest time in regional traditions and local dialects because it's all part of this system, all part of the country, and all part of the culture. It's kind of, there is no need to protect it because it's happening on a daily basis. When it needs to be protected, it's when one country consume other country with a different culture, with a different nationality, and start actually and start not consuming but rather uh, applying their own culture through force on the different country that they subdued it. Yeah, in this way, the local original culture needs to be protected, needs to be treated in order not to be pressed, not to be not to diminish, yeah, and not to distinct. Yes, it's never distinct actually. It never distincts. It never distincts actually, but still, it might be pressed, it might be oppressed. People might be hurt just for their culture, for the desire to speak their own language, and etc. etc. So, in the cases of war conflicts and empires, the local culture needs to be protected. But when country comes from its origin, there is no need for protection because it's kind of how people communicate and what culture and tradition they execute on a daily basis, yeah, or follow on a daily basis. So no need. Okay. Question number 4. If all university lectures were available online for free, what impact do you think that would have on higher education? If all university lectures were available online for free, what impact do you think that would have on higher education? In most cases, I guess it would diminish or at least uh, lesser the importance kind of institution. Because why should you go to university when you get all the lectures, all the information online? It's kind of one point. The second point is, of course, it would be more useful was a regular person because it will save money for the regular person. But in the other way, it will hurt the economy because, as you know, education is a system, it's an institution, and it's also kind of investment in the country economy because students pay tuitions. From these tuitions, I don't know, professor gets salaries, professor do studying, and it's a system. Yeah, it's a system, and it works in a way, in that way, and it needs money to exist. Yeah, because why some scientist will do his job if he can make living from it, if he can't make living from it, like he not gonna do it. Yeah, even if he loves it, he not gonna do it because for what money he gonna live? Yeah, it's very simple. It's a kind of very simple, plain thing. It's me, for instance. Yeah, let's take me for instance. I studied at university, but I understood very soon that the money that I'm going to get from this profession is so it's smaller than the wage of uneducated worker. It's really smaller than the wage of general uneducated unprofessional worker. So what's the fucking point to spend 5 years in studying the subject and then get a salary that scarcely would cover the food and medicine needs? And that's why I lost my motivation. That's why I lost my motivation and didn't engage in studying very much, because I understood that the the kind of, how we call it, how we call it that the consequences on or the final result of my 5 years of studying, kind of developing deep knowledge in the subject, will leads me to poverty, even more, even drastic poverty that I would never even attend this studying. So that's how I lost my motivation in that subject, which I kind of liked, but what's the point for me to do it? And it works for any human being, I guess. What's the point for you to do it if you kinda if it leads to you to the poverty? Yeah, it sounds like a joke. It sounds absolutely stupid, but it's how things works at the time when I've been studying at university. It's how things worked when I've been studying at university. So higher education only led you to the poverty, which is poverty, yeah, which is kind of mind-blowing thing, but it is how it was. So if you we will give information for free, especially lectures, everything online, everything free, it will draft a lot of money from educational facilities, educational systems, and things like that. So people who are working there, the professors, the scientists, the teachers, they will simply lose all motivation to do it, and it will have drastic consequences for the country, for the population of the country, for the new generation. Because when you are, because why is that? Because at this structure, for the small amount of money, will stay only unmotivated people, only, yes, only unmotivated people. Yes, the best professors, the best scientists, the best professionals, they will look for better opportunities, for better wages, and they will live in different countries. They will immigrate. Yeah, they will immigrate to different countries. They will look for different jobs, for instance, just in order to make money for living. And um, just kind of the educational system will suffer very much, because when you are educated by an unmotivated professional, you can guess the quality of this education that you're gonna get. So I think it might be sound cool, but making everything for free, but it will deteriorate the educational system very much in the country. So I wouldn't do it for sure. Why do some people enjoy living in multicultural cities while others prefer places with a more familiar sorry. Uh, my neck is kinda hurts, but it's okay. I'm gonna finish the speaking practice video. Why do some people enjoy living in multicultural cities while others prefer places with a more familiar culture? I don't know. It's a personal preference, I guess. Somebody likes that. Somebody likes when everything is familiar. I think it's a majority of the people who likes when everything is familiar. Me, for instance, I like new things. I like exploration. I like discovery. So for me, it's much more interesting to live in multicultural cities. Yeah, or at least being not in a multicultural cities, but being in a new culture. Yeah, for me, it's a way of gathering new experience and information. But on the other hand, I understand that it might be more difficult. it might be more exhausting because you are forced to learn so many information. You are forced to speak in a different language. It's all efforts. It all takes effort to do it. So also there is might be some conflicts on a national ground, yeah, which is very unpleasant, and people are different, and you never know how the other person will treat you, especially if you are differ from this person. So there is pros and cons, yeah. Probably more safer option, more stable option is to be in a familiar culture. Yeah, because everyone knows each other and there is no things like national discrimination in there. There is still general in between human uh, let's say discrimination, but not on the nation or no, but not on the national ground. So it's easier, yeah. But multicultural, but living in a different culture or a multicultural cities, it's more interesting, I guess. More. Let's say might be more difficult, more exhausting, but more interesting. It's in my opinion, I guess. The question number 6. How important is public trust in institutions such as schools, hospitals, and governments? It's not only important, it's crucial. Because if you don't trust any fucking institution in your country, you're not gonna live there. Yeah. You will gonna kinda do everything in order to live this type of system, type of country in which you can't trust any fucking institution because you're not only thinking about yourself. Probably you are strong, you will endure, you can accept, yeah, many things. But what about your children? Yeah, what about your children? Do you want them to live in a place which can't provide good health care, good education, um, which can't provide fucking anything at a good level of service? Do you want to, I don't know, do you want your kids to suffer? Do you want your kids to suffer? I think any parent want, 1 minute. I think there is no parent in the world or any parent would want their kids to suffer. So if the country is fucked, if the institutions are corrupted, if you can't trust no medical care, no education, nor police, nor any other institution, uh, how are you gonna live in that place? I think um, it would cause the not a huge but significant emigration from this country. A lot of intellectual, educated, and overall very important people. It will only cause them to immigrate. It would cause immigration and how we call it, infiltration and exfil. It will cause the exfiltration from the country. Yeah, because as I said, if even if you can adjust to it, do you want your kids to do the same when you have other opportunities and other options like better education, better schools, better medical care? Of course, you would choose better for your kids. So for your family, for your kids. So this is how it is. If country can provide it, it's a tragedy for the country because it will lead only to deterioration. Because smart people, thinking people, intellectual people, people with ambitions, people who want to do something better, they will simply leave the system. Yeah, because this system will force them to leave, basically. Yeah, they will exfiltrate the useful assets and accommodate. They no, it will how repel. It will repel quality people and accommodate, let's say, not very quality sorts of people, and that's all. The question number 7. Imagine that private cars became much less common in the future. What effects might that have on daily life? It will, it will, it put more pressure for the social transport for sure. But I don't really know. Yeah, I think it will have more positive benefits for environment in general, but um, it also will hurt economy. Yeah, everything that I don't know sees the everything that sees the ability of the people to spend money hurt the economy, and if we will reduce the the market of the private cars in the country, it will reduce the amount of money in the country. So I think the consequences negative for the consequences are negative for the state, but probably a bit positive for the environment. Yeah, because we can use more electrical public transport instead of private petrol cars. Yeah. Okay, the question number 8. Do you think people are becoming better at finding information or simply faster at accessing it? Both I think. With internet, you have both. Yeah, both I think, because with internet you have better access to the information, and while you have access, you kinda usually looking for what you have, and it makes you also better in finding information, because we are not talking right now about spending time in internet aimlessly. We're talking right now about you need to, for instance, let's talk about me, for instance. Right now I'm learning driving rules, and I need information about different signs. I need information about different rules that I don't understand probably from the book, and I'm start looking for it. I'm start searching for it, and I'm looking for the best source of information that will give me the best explanation. So, uh, do I become better at accessing at faster? Do I become better at finding information? Yes, for sure. Do I become faster at accessing it? Yes, for sure. So I don't see a kind of I don't see a ground or a foundation for the debate. It's too it's too kind of um, not equal, but rather it's two things, two skills that are working in unison. So they are not conflict with each other. Okay, the question number 9. Why do certain sports become national symbols in some countries? Why do certain sports become national symbols? Let's check it. Symbols meaning.
Symbols.
Symbols. Yes, I pronounced it correctly. Oh fuck, my neck hurts so much from sitting, but I don't care. I'm gonna finish it. I'm a man. I'm gonna endure it in order to practice English. Why do certain sports become national symbols in some countries? I think because that's how it simply works. Yeah, probably this nation, this gathering of people, yeah, this nationality, they played this sport so much that it became a cultural, that it became a cultural, how we call it, it became a cultural legacy. Yeah, they played so much in the sport that that became a cultural legacy for them, and that's the answer. I don't know how to elaborate it more. That's simply a cultural legacy, and that's all. The question number 10: what qualities make a public leader effective during difficult times? The ability to adjust to the unpredictable circumstances. Yeah, the ability to adjust, basically, because difficult times provides you with unexpected situations to which you can be able to adapt properly in order to solve the problems that will appear. It's kind of I can as an instance I can quote an army general who gave a very good explanation what it means to be an effective commander on the battlefield. I think public leader actually is the same. It's not only on a battlefield, but in other public leader. I mean other fields, not basically public leader gonna be a military commander as well. But let's say that you are a leader of the certain public, and you are responsible for some decision making, and it applies the same as to battlefield basically, just different conditions, yeah, and different probably different field and different conditions, yeah. And what this general quoted, yeah, in order to be a good general, a good leader, and a good manager basically, what you need to be able to do, you need to be able to plan very well, and you need to be able to discard. Yes, you need to be able to plan very well the operation, and during the operation you need to be very bendable and adaptable to the unexpected circumstances during the operation. Yes, you need to be able to adjust your plan to the needs of the operation. Yeah, you need to be able to react on the unexpected, unplanned challenges and adapt to them. Adaptation, basically. And it works for any public leader. Yeah, you had a problem. Probably this problem wasn't a part of your plan. You you might not change your plan, and this will make the result ineffective because the problem will absolutely destroy your plan. And but if you adapt your plan to the situation, you will kind of solve the problems and you will succeed. Yeah, very simple, very straightforward logic, but it works like that. For instance, let's say you go to the gym, you have a plan. Today you're gonna, I don't know, squat. Today you're gonna squat 100 kilos. You go to squat rack. Yes, you go to squat bench. I know you had a plan. Yeah, 100 kilos. So uh you load in the weight. You starting squatting, and you start noticing that there is some unstable, unpleasant feeling in your left knee. So what you may do? You can ignore it because you have a plan to kinda squat 100 pounds. So you continue squatting until you get trauma and you get ineffective and you can't exercise for the next half in a year. Yeah, so you failed. You didn't squat well, you get a trauma and you can't continue squatting. You are absolutely failed. You are absolutely diminished for some amount of time. This is the one approach when you're unbendable, when you can't adapt to the reality. Adapt when you can't adapt to the reality. And the second approach, when you are bendable and adaptable. Adapt. adaptable. Yeah. You start noticing the unpleasant feeling in your left knee. You stop. You check in your knee. Probably you use bandages. Probably you do a better warm up. Probably you use some solutions, yeah, to apply on your knee. Probably some solutions that will help to warm up your joint. Yeah, solution or how we call it. Self gel. Solve. Solve. Mhm. Or cream.
Salve.
A salve is an ointment or cream put on the skin to heal a wound or soothe pain. Yeah, ointment. Let's call it ointment. What minute we gonna check? Ointment.
Ointment.
Yes, ointment. So, you apply ointment. You apply salve.
Salve.
Salve. You apply salve on your knee. You secure it. You try again. 100 kilos. Still, you feel yourself much more better. You can squat 100 kilos, but you understand that if you will force too hard, it will kind of still it might still traumatize your knee. So instead of pushing next to 100, instead of continue pushing 100, you put away a bit of weight to 80 kilos, for instance, and you understand that on 80 kilos you can work quite well and you can finish your training, yeah, without traumas on the safe weight. So you make the weight lesser, you do proper warm up and preparation, and you finish your training successfully, and you go home, and after a couple of days, you can continue your training. Yeah. So, this is how adaptation works. And from this simple example, you can apply it to any field, to any situation, and this is how it should work in a real life. So, the best commander is the commander who can plan well and who can then adapt the plan and then who can adapt the plan according to the situation, according to the challenges that situation provide in a current time. And this is my answer. What makes a political leader, or what makes a public leader and leader in general effective? Ability to plan and ability then to bend and ability to plan and then ability to adapt your plan according to the situation, according to the challenges, in order to be effective, in order to continue being effective. And that's all. Okay, it's been 10 questions from ChatGPT. I've been talking for 53 minutes. It's quite a good result for a speaking practice, though I did it when I had a neck pain. I still have a neck pain, and I think it's all for today. Yeah, I need to do a little warm up for my neck and for my 1 minute. Trapezius. Trapezius. How to pronounce this word? Trapezius.
Trapezius.
Trapezius, yeah. I need to do a warm up for my neck and for my trapezius because I feel a lot of stiffness and yes, a lot of stiffness and pressure in there. So, thank you for watching the speaking practice video. See you in the next one and continue practicing. continue studying. There is no other way to become a proficient in a skill. There is no other way to become a secure and effective in things that you want to do. Save, practice in it. Yeah. Again, thanks for today and see you in the next Speak and Practice video. Goodbye.